Please have a seat.
Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever age, ability, history, identity, gender, or sexual orientation, you are welcome to bring your full self here, to this place where we bring about a more just and loving world. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I am Amy Brabson. My pronouns are she, her, and it is a joy to serve this community as liturgist. We're grateful to have Steve and Jenny Crooks and the Chalice Choir as our hymn leaders, Yen Yu on violin, and Marcus Hauk, our Director of Music Ministries, on piano.
And Reverend Scott on drums.
Oh, hello, Reverend Scott. We can't forget you, my goodness.
It's hard to forget me.
Yeah. Keep your phone handy this morning, as you will need it in a moment. If you are new or have any questions, please find one of our greeters wearing red stoles. Those are the red neck scarves. For those with children, ask a greeter about the Child Creative Engagement Toolkit in the Hanley Welcome Center, which is right back there. We also have a nursery downstairs for kids under 6. Our greeters are here to help you connect and find your way. Our service today invites us to practice seeing grief as a gift of our love.
Download the Bash app today. On Saturday, November 22nd, from 6 to 9 p.m., we will hold the 2025 UUCM Bash, our biggest live fundraiser. This year's theme is a pajama party, so come in your most casual and congregationally appropriate sleeping attire. To make this easier for you and to help your Bash team get everything together, we're going to invite you in this moment to download the app you're going to need to bid. It's called Auctria, like the word auction, Auctria. So get out your cell phones.
Right now.
Turn on your cameras and aim it at the QR code on the screen and download the app. Ask your neighbor if you need help with the link. And while you do this, Marcus will play a little lovely downloading. You just play it with one hand.
Okay, now that you've downloaded, you can use that to get that'll take you to a page that you can get your donations in. Forget about getting rid of the stuff in your garage. What we're looking for are offering experiences more than stuff, right? We want you to host a dinner, an event, a party, teach a class, offer to make or bake or fix something for folks, plan a tea or other get-together, all to build community and raise money for our congregation. They don't need to cost much, and it's even fun to go together with other folks and throw a party. Another great contribution is a gift certificate from your favorite store or restaurant, pizza shop, all tax exempt. You can get those forms at the at Connection Cafe. If you need any more ideas, come and ask a Bash volunteer. The donation door closes between now and tomorrow. Be ready to start bidding on raffle items and more next Sunday, November 9th. Some raffle items will be displayed in the next 2 Connection Cafes on Sunday. And then on Saturday, November 22nd at 6 p.m., come to the Bash, bring your friends, and that's where we bid on the rest in silent or live auction. So, you've downloaded the app, and if you haven't already, please put your phones now in worship mode. Thank you.
We live stream our services. While we cannot guarantee that you are not caught on camera, it is our intention to focus our cameras on our worship leaders. If you are new to our congregation, welcome. We hope you will fill out a connection card, or actually it's called a connect card. That's this right here. And join newcomer connections at 11:15 in the Alliance Room. Let us now reach out to a few folks near us and offer them welcome and love.
us open our senses to take in the beauty. Let us open our minds to learn what is true. Let us open our hearts to love one another, to love one another. Let us open our senses to take in the beauty. Let us open our minds to learn what is true. Let us open our hearts to love one another, to love one another.
Good morning. We have the great joy now to welcome new members to our congregation. We have some prepared for this moment, but if you are here today and you suddenly feel the Spirit moving you to become a member,
Altar call!
this is the closest we come to an altar call on Unitarian Universalism, but you are welcome to come forward as well. So all the new members, please come up, and anyone else who wants to join with them today.
All right. All right, we're going to have a crowded stage, so we might need to use both levels. All right, now first up, we welcome Julia Troika with Teresa and Theo. And Theo's in religious education. So Julia describes herself as a values-driven person. She says, I've found that this community reflects the principles I hold most dear. Respect for life, freedom of thought, and the belief that love is a verb. Thank you. I want to bring my full self here, she says, raise my children within spiritual community of compassion and curiosity. I also hope to build meaningful relationships. Welcome, Julia.
And we also welcome Aisu Farbiage with Stella and Alev.
Yeah.
Aisu believes in a world where people come together regardless of their religious and ethnic backgrounds. The U best reflects this belief in practice, and here she looks forward to connecting with the other members and finding community. Welcome, Aisu.
And with them is Adam. And with them is also Adam, who created the awesome Advent calendar that you may have seen last year. I just wanted to make sure I point that out. We also welcome Fiona Ostermeyer. Fiona feels the beginnings of connection and belonging here because she feels she might be able to make a difference. And while experiencing community, she hopes to reach out into the world and help others as well. Welcome, Fiona.
We welcome Chris Neary. Chris is becoming a member because our congregation is made up of people who live lives he admires. Each Sunday, he is moved when the screen reads, "Our worship has ended, let our service begin." Being part of this congregation will help him remember how important that is. Welcome, Chris.
And we also welcome Michelle Ashley. Hello. Michelle grew up Unitarian Universalist. She has found that coming here as an adult, exploring her beliefs and raising kids here, feels like building a new home here in New Jersey. Michelle strongly believes that community is the only way through this difficult time, that we are nothing without one another. Welcome, Michelle. Hey, Reverend Charles, you know, they're already all theologians with these things that they say, you know.
It's unbelievable,
I know,
right?
I know. New teachers.
So now, you theologians in the audience, take a moment to recall how you felt. How you felt. What moved you when you knew this could be your congregational home? And we ask you to now commit to welcoming others in the same way that you were welcomed here. And you as well. If you will make this commitment, we ask you to say, I will. I will. We hear you and are grateful. Now, let's honor our commitment to this congregation and this community by sharing our covenantal litany.
We welcome our new members in a shared articulation of our congregational covenant, the sacred promises we make to one another. Center of all. Justice, transformation, generosity, equity. New members.
We are excited to commit to living these values and sustaining this beautiful and inclusive community.
We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology.
New members.
We work to build a multicultural, beloved community, resistant to racism and all forms of systemic oppression.
We celebrate the change that you, our new members, will bring us, everyone. We cultivated a spirit of gratitude and hope. We declare that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. This is our sacred promise. This is our covenant. These are our new members. This is our community. Please join us now in celebrating these new members and give them a big round of applause as they make it to their seats.
Thanks for seeing in us a people worthy of your time, talent, and treasure. Let's take a moment to thank those who have gathered, who have made a community. Special thanks to David Lewis for creating this month's chancel display. Yeah. And let's celebrate those who make today's service possible. Our custodian, greeters, ushers, tech team, teachers, Connection Cafe facilitators, and worship leaders. Thank you. From gratitude comes generosity. Financial generosity enriches our membership journey. All we do here is enabled by your financial gifts. Yet, we find ways to share. For the month of November, we will be sharing our riches with the Friends of the Howe House, a nonprofit organization committed to preserving the historic house of James Howe, a formerly enslaved man who was freed in 1817. As one of the oldest standing buildings owned by an African American, this house stands as a monument to African American history, serving as a gathering place for education, community, and honest reflection on the past, present, and future. The past, present, and future of African American experiences in New Jersey and across this nation. You can text UUCM plate and your amount to 73256 to give. Mail us a check with plate in the memo, or simply place your gift in the offering basket. And community, please know that all your gifts are worthy and they are all received with love. Ushers, please come forward.
Called to find depth in our days and discover reverence in this hour, we seek a gentle meditation, a focused reflection, and ardent prayer, each as we are called and yet mystically somehow all together. And we enter into this space by hearing the lamentations, the requests, the remembrances of our community. Let us hear one another to heal one another. We light this candle for a family in Montclair who are suffering the pain and trauma of a suicide. May the children and mother find a path through the loss of their father. May this community hold them in the love and support that they need. And may all who ache know they are not alone and that help is available. Remember that 988 is the suicide crisis line. Many process their grief with legacy gifts, major donations to this congregation. So today we light this candle for all our dearly departed who left us major financial gifts over the years. Carolyn Burr for the chairlift, Jack Drucker for our tech booth, Sylvia Appel, Terry Last, and so many more. You can see Chris Corbett after the service if you would like more information for legacy giving ideas. As we do each year on All Souls Sunday, let us light a candle for all those from UUCM families who died this past year. Burrell Humphreys, Dick Kessler, Robert Raufer, Jesse DeVore. And we welcome you to lift the names now of anyone else that we have missed. Their memories, lives, and their legacy sustain us. Deborah Corbett lights a candle of gratitude following her appointment by the Commissioner of the Department of Corrections to both the Men's Prisons and the Youth Prison Board of Trustees. Deb shares, I look forward to being able to contribute in whatever way I can to criminal justice reform in our state. Although stepping away from my role with New Jersey Together Essex, that work reminded me how much I want to serve this population. We have a candle of joy from Gordon Crooks celebrating a new relationship. He says November 15th is 2 months in his relationship with Maddie. Happy to see where that relationship goes. This is a candle of remembrance. In this season of loss and thinking of the good friend Dina, Sister Grace, niece Lisa, you are always with me. This is from Steve Crooks. We have a candle of sorrow. This is from Melinda Laughlin, in remembrance for the family of Max Yeager. Melinda's cousin, Max Yeager, died yesterday. Please remember his children, Jesse, Rebecca, and Rachel, as well as the grand and great-grandchildren during their time of loss. Katie Ulett lights a candle of sorrow for John Pransky, who died suddenly on October 22nd. I'm sorry, Joan Pransky, who died on October 22nd. She was a cherished resident of Montclair, a lawyer with a passion for civil rights and a tireless advocate for tenants' rights and housing justice. She was kind and courageous, a force for good in this world. She will be missed. This is a candle of remembrance from Helen Buckley and David Lewis, remembering the passing of Carolyn Lewis and Jack Buckley, remembering their passing from 5 years ago. They are missed. And in this service where we are focusing on grief, I light a candle this morning for my dear friend Michael O'Neill, who passed this last week unexpectedly from a heart attack at 55. Pray, please, for his wife and his son. And we light this final candle. It is for the joys and sorrows that are deeply felt but have not been spoken aloud. Can we hold this silence together as this silence holds us? May our listening inspire acts of love. I invite you to continue with me now in a common embodiment of reverence. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, the very ground of being that invites us again into a collective process of meaning-making. Let us seek in this moment a stillness. Let us seek at this moment a time and a place where we might quiet our minds, relax our bodies, and simply breathe. We seek to be present with all of our complexities, with the full spectrum of our lives. We are filled ever with joys and with sorrows, with hopes and with fears, with celebration and indeed with grief. But remember to breathe, friends. Remember to breathe. And in this space of beloved community, let us reflect this morning on these words that are from Katie Savani Gelfand, a blessing for grief. May you be tender and gentle with yourself and be cared for by those who will envelop you with compassion and presence. May you know that there is so much beauty in your grief, and especially when it feels messy. May you know that the depth of your grief is a measure of the love your heart is capable of. So may you cry an ocean of tears and never fear the tides of your grief. May you scream and rage and emote your pain in safe and supported spaces. And may you never be judged for the power of your expression. May you be comforted by a blanket woven of love when you feel the harsh and palpable illusion of aloneness. May you remember in moments of despair that all life comes from the womb of sacred darkness, and that something new will be born from this void. May you allow yourself to change. May the pain of your loss awaken you to the pulse of your humanity. And may you have faith in the crucible of your soul to transform this grief into a numinous song that brings you closer to your own divinity. May your experience of loss expand your capacity to extend compassion to others. And may you eventually wear your scars as luminous gems on the unfurled wings of your heart. And may you always remember the preciousness of life. Blessed be, and amen.
Neuroscience has begun to explain things many ancient people intuited, but folks today often dismiss because they are deemed unscientific. Today's reading is such an exploration. This is adapted from neurobiologist Mary Frances O'Connor's book, The Grieving Brain, The Surprising Science of How We Learn from Love and Loss. As many ancient peoples intuited, although it changes over time, grief never ends. How we walk with grief can transform us for the better. Grief is our natural response to loss. We are likely to experience pangs of grief over a lost one, a lost loved one, forever. We will have discrete moments that overwhelm us, even years after we have restored our lives to meaningful new patterns. But whereas we feel the universally human emotion of grief forever, our grieving, how we process grief, changes our experience over time. The first 100 times you have a wave of grief, you may think, I will never get through this. I cannot bear this. The 101st time you may think, I hate this, I don't want this, but it is familiar, and I know I will get through this moment. Even when we recognize an old grief, our relationship to it changes. Thinking of the emotion, grief, and the grieving process as two separate things deepens our understanding, inviting us to be kind with ourselves when surprised anew by grief. A fundamental human emotion, grief teaches how our love and its loss operate in our mind, body, and soul.
Something's going on here today. Wow. Thank you so much for that choir. For Schubert's Agnus Dei. Agnus Dei means Lamb of God, and the lyrics in English include these words: all our loved ones already in the land of peace, send us the peace of heaven, who only beckons to the heart. So welcome one and all to this All Souls Sunday. And of course, when we say All Souls here, we mean all souls. On this day of honoring our dearly departed loved ones and ancestors, we explore together the nature of grief. Grief is an emotion. Grieving is how we process that emotion. And we grieve not only with our hearts and minds, but with our whole bodies, our whole being. So now we in no way are trying to suggest that everyone does or should grieve in the same way. Each grief journey is unique and particular, personal. But grief will come. When we see grief as a gift, as a symbol of our love, our grieving process can be healthier, perhaps even transcendent, and our eyes may open to the gifts that grief can bring. The ancients knew the difference between grief and grieving, and they developed rituals to make sure we would engage the grieving process over time. All Souls Day, Samhain, the Day of the Dead, they all occur this time of year. There's something about when the days begin to shorten and when the cooler air snaps that inspired our ancestors around the globe to mark a time when we might mystically be in contact closer with our dearly departed loved ones. The human imagination suggested a spiritual intimacy too often lost on those of us in today's world. And yet, still, we feel a pull. Our ancestors were, well, just as human as we are. And even though too often we disregard their teachings, their experience, their invitation, let us try and learn from them. Now, rightly, we may not be as superstitious as human beings once were, but I can't help but wonder, have we lost some sense of what Emerson called the sublime in the ordinary, the sacred in the everyday, including the magic that resides in nature's rhythms? When days grow darker, we naturally seem to ponder our own mortality, our finitude. And so we make celebrations even of death itself. And many such of these observations, as you know, are things like Hindus who offer the favorite food and drink for their ancestors during Paksha. The sugary skulls of Central America's Dia de los Muertos, which reminds us of life's sweetness. The balefires burnt by ancient Celts and modern pagans on Samhain, awaiting ancestor guidance until dawn because the veil between the worlds are thinner right now. Even the skeletons strewn on New Jersey lawns for Halloween is a cartoonish mockery of death. The wheel of the year reminds the world to ponder death in ritual, festival, and celebration. Because our physical, emotional, and spiritual health are enhanced by paying homage to our ancestors, just as health is nurtured by honoring the cycles and rhythms of nature. So I invite us to shorten, if not toss, our to-do lists, put down our devices, and immerse ourselves in nature's beauty and majesty. Nature grants us leave to process our grief. Now, it's true that grief is hard. We don't want to walk there. And nearly every adult has gone through it. And when grief comes, we often want to flee or hide, right? And while we all need time alone, because we all process grief differently, we also have to remember to come back together again, to hear and tell our stories, to allow others to hold us and to walk with us. And for those in the company of grieving ones, remember, it is a precious gift to be invited to sit with those who grieve. Even if we don't know how best to do that sitting, the best advice we can give, just listen. Don't try to fix or whisk it away or minimize. And remember, the grieving one is not a burden. Beloveds, we are nurtured most by confronting, not avoiding what befalls us. And today's reading teaches us this. The pain of grief calls us to go where our discomfort is urging us to look and to walk and to feel. Grief offers these gifts. Grief stirs us to memorialize our dearly departed. Grief invites us to ponder life's finitude, adding intention and purpose to our days. Grief's tears are the receipts of compassion, evidence of our deep love. Placing love at the center, we know all things born of love deserve our attention and time. So how might we process grief and make it good? Well, you know there's a whole lot of advice about this. People grieve with their whole selves, body, mind, and soul, so our grieving process must include our full humanity. To regain a sense of control during a time of upheaval, psychiatrist Aaron Thompson shares these 3 C's of grief: challenge, change, communicate. Challenge yourself to confront your difficult emotions: sadness, anger, abandonment. When our worlds turn upside down, let us be kind to ourselves. Allow ourselves to cry and feel what we must. Welcome the gift. The only way out is through, so we challenge ourselves to start grieving. Getting out of bed, doing chores, eating, all these help. Asking for conversation or help are also acts of healing. Change. We are never the same after a grief event. Prepare yourself to welcome and guide the change coming, to build a new life in the face of loss. Communicate. Connect with helpful family, friends, even a pet. Pets are great at these times. Communicate with the God of your understanding, or with your spirit, or with the muse through journaling, dance, music, writing. Share your feelings and needs with someone you trust for support and understanding. And set boundaries. It's okay to be honest about what you can and cannot handle. So say, I'm not up for this right now. I need to talk. Can you just listen? Honesty about our struggles strengthen relationships and speeds our healing. We're aware that grief returns the way that all deep memories can, suddenly. Our senses often trigger grief moments, the way that pipe smoke evokes my pop-up mic, or the song that could catapult you back to a high school romance, or the chair that might remind you of a grandma now gone. Even a tour bus outside of a concert venue. All right, this is my story. One of my closest childhood friends was a man named Harold Kennard Teague III. Hal, H-A-L. Hal was my very educated, cultured, chain-smoking sidekick for going to rock concerts. We would hitchhike even from Baltimore as far as Philly or D.C. to see a show. Just last week, Hal's presence returned. Hal was an autograph hound. We'd arrive 4 hours early, find the tour bus with our stack of records to get signed, sneak in if we could. And last Thursday, as Anya and I walked to the Beacon Theater to see Nico Case, I saw the tour bus outside. So the first thing I did was look for how I could sneak in and get an autograph, but I realized that's not why I was there. But it all came flooding back. Hal's pain and the abuse he suffered. You see, Hal's father flew Agent Orange missions in Vietnam, and he was unable to live with that truth. And so Hal's father took his own life on Christmas Eve when Hal was just 13. Hal's stepfather rejected him. His mother disowned him. He was railroaded on a bogus marijuana charge in Oklahoma. And Hal died at age 27 in 1991. Died of pneumonia because he lived in a country where he couldn't get adequate health care because he was poor. And I still feel anger at our government, at his family, right here, right now, for the needless abuse and abandonment he suffered. Tour buses always remind me of Hal. Good grief. Well, besides death, we grieve many different losses, do we not? Jobs, good health, hopes and dreams, perhaps even notions of a good society. Like death, we grieve the ending of meaningful relationships. When we split with a partner, we grieve that pattern of life to which we were accustomed. And since we invested time, energy, and love into that pattern, we become lost when that pattern is gone, even if it was a rut or did not elicit our best, or God forbid was toxic. When our patterns are disrupted, we fear change. And much of our pain in life comes from a stubborn unwillingness to court and adapt to change. Indeed, when my first marriage ended, I was there. I did not have a roadmap for that new world. Clinging for some foolish reason to something broken and hollow, I was bereft. I didn't know what life could be or if love was possible. I hadn't learned then that grief can be good, a symbol of our love inviting me to transformation. I hadn't learned then that Mother Teresa teaches us this truth, that love is not love until it is put into action, and that action is service. Until we tell someone we love them and we act lovingly toward them, we do not yet love them. Until we act lovingly to ourselves, we have not yet loved ourselves. As the Nazarene taught, do not hide your light, your love, under a bushel. Place it where all can see. Grief yields good when we process it with intention, when we sit with it, share it with others, discover how to honor it. And grief erupts when things we love in our wider community die or seem threatened. Do we not see endangered, even dying, ways of being that we know affirm life and promote thriving? Expectations of how our society should be organized to promote fairness, democracy, and compassion? We speak here not just of the constitutional order or compassionate public policy for the needy, but simple courtesies, kindnesses that seem to be too easily disregarded, truths too blithely denied. And on this day of thinking of all we have lost, let us turn our attention to these social things we feel are in danger of going away. The ideas, values, ways of life, the institutions we know build a stronger society. For instance, in response to what they're seeing, members of our Art and Soul team have processed their grief with the lovely Hopes and Prayers for Democracy project on our front lawn. This is one healthy way to respond, grief yielding to beauty, art as activism. So what are we grieving in our nation today? Things like due process, competence no longer valued over loyalty. Perhaps you might know a few of these things that you might be grieving, that you're fearing is being threatened. What might they be? Good grief. We mourn what has been stolen, what has been blasphemed, what cowards refuse to teach, what others silence or ignore, what has been sacrificed for greed, tyranny, or dominion, what has been slain at the altar of supremacy and privilege. Our grief, your grief is good because those who place love at the center champion and uphold what is true and good and just, and when the good, the true, and the just are threatened, our compassion drives our souls to ache. It means you are alive. What we fear today is something real. What we miss are necessary, virtuous things. So process your grief in healthy ways, into action, into community. Invest your time in our programs here at this awesome congregation. Teach religious education, serve community needs with ministry partners like MESH, Human Needs Food Pantry, the NAACP. Leave a major legacy gift to UUCM. Help get out the vote. I mean, besides the governor's race, there's a measure to keep local control of public schools on the ballot, for God's sake. All of this, creative engagement and community building, pushes back against tyranny, activating us to honor our grief and resist despair, because you know the forces of destruction want you to feel despair. So joy, activism, and hope are acts of holy resistance in times like these, and doing those in community amplifies that resistance exponentially. So place love at the center of your life in ways that transform you and enrich your spirit as we change the world for better in the ways we can together, thereby making goodness out of our grief. Amen.
So friends, join us in Connection Cafe to celebrate David Lewis and Helen Buckley's birthday today. Newcomer connections meet in the Alliance Room, and don't forget to download, donate, and register for the 2025 UUCM Bash now, and invite your friends to come in appropriate pajamas.
Good grief. I bet you're expecting a Charlie Brown reference there, right?
Yeah.
Good grief. Although we all grieve differently, we all grieve, and grief is good. Grief echoes our compassion. Challenge yourself to walk into the pathway grief offers. Grief will change us, so help guide that transformation. Communicate your needs, but remember, we all process our grief with our whole bodies. So eat, don't oversleep, exercise, and drink too much, right? Allow your grief, especially over the state of this nation, to propel you to be agents of needful reform, social renewal, and the championing of hope, love, and justice. Now let us share in unison our chalice extinguishing.
Our worship has ended. Let our service begin. Go in peace, go in joy, go in love.
because we don't